So far what we have seen is that whenever we have selected a certain block of code and tried to execute it, it has executed in a sequential manner, that is line by line. Sometimes we want a bit more control on the flow of execution, so we want certain parts of the code to execute and certain parts of the code to skip based on certain condition being true or false. Now for that kind of control, you need some kind of conditional constructs or control flow constructs. So one of the control flow construct is an if statement. And the way you write if statement is something like this. You write an if keyword and then you specify this set of brackets, and over here you specify a condition. Now that condition can be a logical expression or a boolean value, or anything which would result in a true or false, and then you specify this opening and closing bracket. Now if the condition which you are going to specify over here that is true, then everything within these opening and closing brackets will be executed. And if that condition is false, then the same block of code will be skipped. And once the program will assess this condition and makes a decision whether to skip or execute this part of code, it will resume the execution of the program after this bracket in a normal way. That is, it will just start executing the rest of the code after this bracket in a sequential manner again. So let's specify a condition. So if you can see over here, we have a vector of taxes of employees, and I have used this sum function. Now what it does is that it will take a vector as an input argument, and then it will add up all the contents of this vector and basically save the sum in this variable. So what I'll do is that I'll use this variable because it is adding up all the taxes. So we can write something like total.tax, and let's say if this tax is greater than, the cumulative tax is greater than 500, then we want to just print a statement or just a line of code saying the tax is too high. Now it can be more than 2 lines. This is just a demonstration. I just wanted to show you the demonstration of this code. So it can be 2 or 3 or more than that, more than a single line. And let's say at the very end we say print. Let me just say exit program. So I mean, looking at these numbers, we know that this condition is going to be false, so it should skip this part of the code and then resume from this line. So let me just, now if you see the top line that is commented out, we are using a hash sign, so that's not relevant. But I'll select all the lines of code and I'll run it, and what you can see over here that it is saying exit program. Now it has echoed out the rest of the statements, but this is the output. This is the only output which the program has generated, and it has skipped this print function because of course this condition is returning false. But if we use a different vector, the one which I've stated above, and comment out this line of code, now this is definitely greater. I mean, the sum is definitely greater than 500. So hopefully this condition is going to be true, and we are expecting, looking at this code, that this line is going to be executed. And once this is executed, then it will print out exit program. So let me just create the console and select all the lines of code and try to run it. And now we can see, let me just Now we can see that it has printed out the first line, which is the tax is too high, and then it has resumed the execution of the code from this line, says exit program. So this was one of the most simple and basic conditional statements, the if statement. And in the next video, I will extend the discussion about conditional statements, and in specific the if statement, how we can extend and how we can cover different scenarios. So stay tuned.